Hi there, folks, and welcome to the What Solutions for this week's Daily Rigour, issue number 112. So, you must have caught Donald Trump's slight retraction regarding what he said about Russia, and he described it as sort of a double negative. I mean, I love that. So, obviously, here at the Daily Rigour, we had to celebrate with our presidential double negative quiz. So, it'll be interesting to see how you got on with these questions, but in particular, the bonus challenge. So number one, 6 take away negative 4. So of course when you're taking away a negative we can just say it's the equivalent of adding. So it's 6 add 4, which is 10. And indeed 6 and minus 4 are 10 places apart on the number line. So minus 7 take away minus 2, a wee bit trickier. So again we can make that a positive, and it means that you start all the way down at minus 7 and you add 2, which means you go up 2 spaces. So that would take you up to minus 5 for number 2. So number 3, when you multiply two negatives, you get a positive answer. So that's going to be positive 27. And similarly for number 4, when you divide two negatives, you get a positive answer. So that's going to be positive 3. Now in terms of the bonus challenge, here is an example of where two positives make a negative. So maybe only the Scottish readers would get this. So I is a Scottish word, and when you say I to somebody, it means yes. Now, if you think of the word right, well, that means like if you got something right, it means that you're correct. So if you're asked a question, yes is a positive response, and getting a question correct is also a positive response. So my point is there's two positive statements here, I and right, but when you put them together, two positives, I right, if you say in Scottish to somebody I right, it actually means no. So no is actually a negative response. So there you go, guys, an example of where two positives make a negative. Now before all the maths teachers start telling you, oh, that's not mathematically correct, it was supposed to be a wee joke there. Okay, so France's Kylian Mbappe donating his World Cup earnings to charity. I mean, lots of people are doing that. The England players donate every match fee to charity, and we can say what we want about these footballers earning awful, obscene amounts of money, but I just love hearing when they actually do give money to charity. So fair play to this young man. And what he's done is he's actually given the money to deprived children to help them with their sport. So it's for a great cause. So he gets 17,000 for each game that he played. So that's 17,000 multiplied by the number of games that he played. So three group games plus one last 16 tie, plus one quarter final, plus the semi final, plus the final. So that's 7 games in total. So we do 17,000 multiplied by 7. And but then of course he won the final, so he actually got that £265,000 bonus, which means that Kylian Mbappe, a 19-year-old, is donating a whopping sum of £384,000 to charity. So I think we've all got to be impressed and say well done. What a wonderful gesture that was. So Francesco Molinari was the first Italian to win a major, and what we want to calculate here is the mean score for the top 7 players. So to get the mean, what you've got to do first is get the total. So we've got to add up all these numbers. Now, personally I would have did 4 times minus 6 is minus 24, add minus 8 is minus 32, and then add minus 10 is minus 42. But if you added them all up individually, you would have got the same result. Now to get the mean, you add them all up and then you divide by the number of numbers. So of course it's the 7 players, so we do minus 42 divided by 7, which gives us an answer of a mean score of minus 6. Okay, so on to our last story now. We've got Kellogg's have made Cocoa Pops healthier. They've slashed the amount of sugar by a whopping 40%. So write this figure as a fraction and a decimal. Well, 40% means 40 out of 100, so that is it as a fraction. But you should always leave a fraction in its simplest form. And this fraction does simplify, so you have to think of the biggest number that you can divide top and bottom by, or pick a smaller number and do it in stages. But the biggest number you can divide top and bottom by is 20. So 40 divided by 20 is 2, and 100 divided by 20 is 5, so 40% is 2/5. Now to change to a decimal, we do the division, but rather than doing 2 divided by 5, it's easier to do 40 divided by 100, moving everything down 2 place values. So the 4 tens would become 4 tenths, so in other words it's 0.4. So apparently 85% of children don't notice the difference. I find that very interesting. I wonder if that is true. Well, it must be. So what's this as a fraction and a decimal? So 85% means 80 85 over 100. Now the biggest number you can divide top and bottom by here is just 5. So 85 divided by 5 is 17, and 100 divided by 5 is 20, so it's 17 over 20 is a fraction in its simplest form. So to change to a decimal, we're not doing 17 divided by 20, it's much easier to do 85 divided by 100, and of course it's 0.85. That was the word solutions for this week's Daily Rigour. I hope you enjoyed solving these problems as much as we enjoyed writing them. So stay tuned for next week's edition when we're going to be looking at more stories from the news of the week and the numbers behind them. But in the meantime, thanks for watching and bye for now.